Hello, friends, and welcome back to My Hobby Home. My name is Cathy. Welcome to our Saturday sew along. We are doing the morning flower patch, or morning flower patch. This is the quilt that we are doing. I am smashing my stash. I am doing this with all scraps, all from everything I have here in my sewing room. So what are we doing today? Guys, I had it all wrong. We are making the plus blocks, and how we do that is we take one of our black strips, that's my background color, and one of our white strips. I have pinned these together, so what I'm going to do is just start sewing them. We will sew also another black strip on the opposite side of the white strip. So we have made us a piece of, it's going to be black, white, then black fabrics there. So what I'm doing, I have already pinned these together. I've pinned 4 of them, I believe. And we are just going to sew it. We're going to sew all of them at one time. And then we're going to come back and I will pin the next strip on the other side of this white strip. And we will make that unit. Now, once we get these strips done, we will then cut them to a desired length and width. I was thinking I had 4 squares cut and I would be doing like a 4 patch with sashing, and that's not how this is done. Which I'm glad it's done this way. This will make it a lot quicker. That we can get them done like all at one time, and the rest of it, just press it out and then cut it to size. That's all we'll have to do. We have to cut 62 of these units out. Now, I do not know how these strips are going to be doing it. I don't know how 4 strips is going to be making 62, but we'll figure it out. But we are just sewing. So, friends, how is your weekend started? It is Friday night after the live with Tammy that I am sewing this. I have been pressed for time here this weekend. But you know what? That's okay. That is perfectly okay. Okay, my white strip is a little longer than my black strip, so what I'm going to do is just raise my foot and fold that white strip over out of the way. And I'm going to just raise my foot here and put my next strip just right under there. Now, it may sew them 2 pieces together, and it's okay if it does. I've got a seam ripper that will take the 2 apart if necessary. But I'm doing that so I'm not stitching in that piece, because I may need to use some of that extra, because I had one piece that was shorter than the rest, and I'm not exactly sure why it was shorter than the rest. But we will figure it out here shortly. because as soon as I get the second black strip on here and I start cutting, I'll know if I need additional fabrics there. So I'm going to go on and pull that pin out. Make sure we're all lined up all the way down. Guys, this is really easy. I hope you guys are getting yours done. If you're doing this quilt along with me, I do have a featured post out in the Facebook group. If you would like to look at those, you can upload in the comment section of that featured post with the photos of your quilt if you are doing this one with us. If not, that's okay. You don't have to do the same one that we do. Perfectly fine. Just as long as we're in the sewing room together, getting us a little sew time in. This is our therapy. We're having our therapy session this morning. How's yours going? Mine is going pretty good. I'm finally able to get in my sewing room and do a good bit of sewing here. I'm also rolling this back up on this one here as well. Let's find this other strip here. And friends, I may get a little quiet here today or tonight. Like I said, it is Friday night. I am sewing with you. I'm in my thinking spot right about this time of the day. Trying to think what I need to do tomorrow, and I realized one thing that I haven't done yet that I need to do for tomorrow. I have a brisket in my fridge that is thawed out that I need to go on and get seasoned so I can throw it in the oven when I get up tomorrow, and it can be ready for cooking in the morning. I've just got to put a rub on it. I'm going to put a little hickory smoke in there. Give it a little smoky flavor. And then I've got to cook some chicken wings also that I've had in my fridge for a couple days. So I need to cook them as well. That's one of those things I like to keep in my fridge because they're easy to cook and they're a quick dinner for me. Now this one here I did not pin all the way down. I don't even know if I have a piece cut to go over this one. I'm just going to lay this one to the side because I've put my second piece over here and I have 4. So I think I've got 2 over there right now. Yeah, so I may use the other one. I may use that one. This one here is a little short on that white fabric. So it never hurts to have a little extra cut sometimes. But friends, what is your weekend looking like? Are y'all having decent weather? We've been having little storms coming through, little thunderstorms coming through where I'm at tonight, and I'm happy about that, just to knock that dust down. Friends, do you ever get in your sewing room and just get in your thinking spot and just sew and think and let your mind relax? That's where I'm at today. My granddaughter is home from the hospital now. You know, just one of them little childhood things that happens, you know. But she's doing good. She told my youngest daughter, she calls her Aunt Libby. She can't say her name. So she calls her Aunt Libby. And she calls my oldest daughter Aunt BB. Because she can't call her. She can't say her name either, I guess. Okay, so this makes 4 of my plush strips. I guess that's what we can call them. Can't we call them that, friends? Plush strips? Because that's what they call the plus blocks. So that's 1 block. Or 1 strip. 2. Oh, I needed to use the other one, didn't I? No? Because this one is 3. And this one is 4. So I could do a 5th strip. Okay, that's what I'm going to do with this one here. I'm going to go on and pin this one up because I can see making the amount that I need using 5 strips. Maybe that other piece that I pinned to that one was short for a reason. So now I've got this one. I'm going to go ahead and sew this one together so we will have a 5th strip, and I will just pin that one. Enjoy tea. Happy birthday. A late birthday. I know I said it last night on the live, but happy birthday to you. I hope you had a fabulous day yesterday or Friday for your birthday. Birthdays are always special because that means you were blessed with another year to see all the beauty of this earth. And I know a lot of people don't think it's beautiful, and if you don't, I highly suggest find somewhere that you think that is. Life is not fun if you're not where you're happy and you think it's beautiful. One thing, take a vacation. Go somewhere. Find somewhere that you think is beautiful to go. Find the beauty in the little things. I was watching some gardening expertise today, and because I want to get in my garden. I have not planted a single thing, friends, not a single thing. Because I get very frustrated that things don't grow in my garden like I think they should. And this one lady, she's always had a beautiful garden. I've watched her for years. But she was amending her bed. Well, she was actually starting container gardens. And I was like, well, I'm going to watch this because I have container gardens and they just don't do. And she's always got such beautiful plants. Well, so I watched her today. And no wonder she's got beautiful plants. She puts everything under the sun in her bed. She starts like with compost. Then she puts blood meal. Then she puts perlite. Then she puts lime. Then she puts, what was that? Peat moss. I'm like, well, you're not growing in the dirt. You're growing in a flower pot. But I thought that was just very interesting, all the additives she put in her garden. Because, for me, I don't put all that in my garden. I'm like, I start with container garden soil. I feel like that should have everything it needs because I'm not using, soil out of my yard, which is awful. It's not even soil, it's clay. But she's always had beautiful tomatoes and things like that. So I'm like, I can grow some okra. Now I grow some beautiful okra. I've done that for several years. I haven't even planted my okra yet. But we keep having cool nights. And my aunt, I think it was my aunt that told me, they always planted like on Mother's Day weekend was when they did their garden. I think somebody told me that. That's when they planted. Well, my idea is to do some pole beans. But I've got to find some that I can eat because a lot of your beans are high carbs. The ones I like are high carb, like butter beans. I can't have those. Butter beans, lima beans, I can't have those. Carrots even are a high glycemic vegetable. So I have to be very, very careful exactly what I'm eating. And I shouldn't plant it if I can't eat it. I just about only can plant flowers, friends, because I'm not going to eat flowers. But, that's all I can plant because I can't eat nothing that I can plant. I shouldn't eat tomatoes. I shouldn't eat okra. But I'm planting both of those. I am planting okra for fresh okra eating. I'm not going to put any of it up. If I can't eat it when I grow it, then I'm going to share it with somebody that can eat it. Okay, so I've got this one pinned. We're going to start with this one, and then we will work our way to our next plus unit. So we've got to get this under here. Now I am sewing everything at 1/4 of an inch. I guess that's just a given. And now if the light is flicking, this light right here, I think I bumped the cord on it. And I think it has a loose connection. That doesn't have a real good connection. Friends, I am wanting to get some quilts to Miss Ava. I got one to her today. No, it is not the flowering. That's not why it's not hanging back here. That one is not hanging back here because I took it down so I could do the corrections where I messed up with the sashings. So I've got the sashings fixed. And all I have to do now is put the borders on. It's just laying over here now waiting on borders, which will be put on here pretty quick like, because I have the borders right here on my sewing. I kept them here for a reason, because if they're here, I see them and I have to remember. But I've got to get that done. I've got my flyaway that I need to get, I think it's my flyaway that I need to get bound. Now, I'm starting to take when I take my quilts to Miss Ava, I'm just going to have them go on and bind them as well, because I don't want a stack of quilts that I need to bind. And that way, when the quilt comes back, it's ready. Yes, that is an extra expense that I just have to add into my budget. I think per quilt, that's about $30, for a larger quilt. And the one I dropped off today isn't a real big quilt. I mean, it's a decent sized quilt, but it's not like a large throw. It's more like a crib size, I think. Okay, so we've got that first one done. So now what I need to do, get my second strip here. Get my second strip here. Open this up and lay these two together. And pin. So once I get these pinned, I will come back with you guys and we will start sewing the second one. Okay, friends, and just like that, we are ready to sew on our second plus block unit. Now, one of the things I will do is I'm only going to do these two first, and then trim some apart so you can actually see the making of the plus block. I'm not going to do the whole video just on sewing our units together. This way you will be able to see exactly the process of how I'm putting them together. I'm making sure both of my fabrics are lined up. Okay, we are just about done sewing our second plus block unit. So what I am going to do now is I am going to press these out and then cut them down to size and be right back with you. Okay, friends, so I have these cut. I only did one row of them so you can see how we're going to do this. I don't need that one. These are our sashing pieces, but we will take one of our plus units and we will take one of our sashings, and they should be the exact size. I will be pinning mine at the beginning and the end of the piece just to make sure my ends are staying even. Because I don't know why, but sometimes my fabrics just are not even at the end. And this is the little trick that I have found. If I just go on and pin it, it will be fine. That way it's not getting stretched. I think that's probably my problem. It's getting stretched in the process of sewing it. And this way I can just hold this on the end and make sure everything is lined up. But this is how we are making our plus blocks. Now, I'm going to go on and show you how to make one block. Now, you notice you have that sashing there. I'm going to go on and press this so it's flatter. That makes it a lot easier to bring it together. Okay, friends, so you see how we have this on the bottom. Now, we've got to put another one of these on the bottom. Now that we have that sashing there, we want these to meet up so the sashing is straight. Now, of course, we're going to pin on both ends. I'm lining up on the edge right here. I'm making sure that whole piece is even. And then I'm lining up on the edge right here. Making sure we're nice and pretty and even. Now that did hang a little over on that end, so it's hanging over on the other as well. Now what I do here, I lay this down and I find where the seams are even. Now I will go ahead and put a pin in it. I need to come around and get my little pink tipped pin because it goes in seams a little bit easier. I think what I'm trying to do is pin through too many seams. So, and then I've done this side. See if you can see that pin in there. So now what I'm doing is going to the other side and get my little pink tip pins because they go through the fabric a lot better. Make sure that one didn't line up real good. Make sure we are right there in that seam. Okay, so now I have the seam pin down here where the two sashings go together. But I'm going to sew it above where those two pins are. So what I'm going to do is lay this down on the machine once that gets started there. Now, these are far enough down that I can actually push the pin heads down and they will not get in the way. But do make sure that your fabrics are lined up. Now, this also you press to the dark. In my case, that is the background. Okay, let me take this off and press it so you can see what this block looks like. Okay, friends, there is our plus sign. It looks like it might be a little bit off, but overall, I think it's pretty close. Normally, I do pin at the top too where I'm sewing it, but I didn't this time. I'm going to have to start just to make sure I have a perfect plus sign. So, friends, that is going to be it for right now for today. Y'all keep on sewing because I am going to keep on sewing these little blocks to get as close to done as we possibly can. But we will be making 31 of these blocks. So, friends, give me a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do. Feel free to leave a comment and tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye, friends.